Hey everyone, today we're going to be taking a look at the 35-liter Allpa pack from Cotopaxi. And this is one of those bags that I tend to see all around the world, regardless of where I'm traveling. There's always quite a few of these. It has a really distinct aesthetic. People seem to really love the layout. It's offered in a couple of different sizes. I've always been very curious about this 35-liter size in particular, as this is the size that I tend to feel comfortable with for one bag travel internationally. And so I've had a chance to get hands-on with it for the past couple of weeks, and in this video I'm going to be talking about what it's been like to use it. I'll show you how I've loaded it out, walk through all the features, and I'll also talk about how it compares to some of the other similar bags that are currently on the market. Before jumping into the video, I want to give a shout out to Huckberry for sending the bag for me to test out. And if you're new here, welcome. My name is Danny, and on this channel we love reviewing popular travel and everyday carry gear. If you like these types of videos and you'd be interested in seeing more, please consider subscribing, as it helps the channel out a lot. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and jump in. Starting off with the overall aesthetic, to me Cotopaxi has a very distinct style, very interesting color combinations. The design here feels like it lands kind of in the middle of a technical and modern bag, so it doesn't have all of these straps and attachment points that you might find on a more traditional Osprey backpack, but you do still have some webbing, handles, pockets. The harness system is pretty robust. But, you know, it's not going to be quite as sleek or modern looking as something like an Air Travel Pack 3, so it feels like it strikes a pretty interesting balance. It's going to blend in well into a lot of different environments when you're traveling. And then as far as the materials, this feels really solidly built. The exterior fabric is an 840D TPU coated in nylon, so this feels like it's going to hold up well to rougher usage and also offer lots of weather resistance. And then for some of the other areas of the bag, you have a ripstop 840D nylon, and all of these materials feel like they're surprisingly lightweight considering the size and the features of the bag. I believe that it comes in at under 3 pounds, which is surprising for a bag of this size. Beyond that, you just have some really nice feeling webbing and materials all throughout, and some really smooth working and reliable YKK zippers. Continuing with the outside of the bag, with the updated edition of the Allpa, you now have an external water bottle pocket, which is a really great addition. This has a good amount of space. I was able to fit my 26-ounce Yeti Rambler comfortably. You can see that this expands outwardly, so even when the main area is packed out, I'm still able to fit something of this size without any issue. And then when I pull it out, the compartment just hugs the bag to maintain a cleaner overall look, which is nice to see. And then on the exterior, you have a couple of attachment points that are great for pairing with a carabiner, so you can clip on maybe an extra pair of shoes, hero clip, my hand sanitizer, so always nice to have some of these without going overboard on the technical front. And you do have some fairly prominent branding with the Cotopaxi name and logo here in the center. It's also contrasted against the darker color of the bag. And I kind of go back and forth on this. Generally, I don't love huge logos and names, but Cotopaxi's brand identity is, pretty interesting. Of course, that's subjective, but I do love the llama and the color combination. So, your mileage may vary with that. You also have the model of the bag in the corner. So when you're shopping, I guess that really makes it clear which one you're getting. And on the exterior, you also have some nice handles. So you have one on the side that will allow you to carry this like a briefcase. You have one at the bottom and then one at the top. So this is always really helpful to have both of these for when you're loading this into an overhead storage compartment or in and out of a trunk. And then taking a look at the capacity, the Allpa is offered in a couple of different sizes. The version that I have here is the 35-liter size, which to me is kind of the sweet spot for one bag travel. I was able to hold all the items that I normally like to carry with me on a 1 to 2 week trip, but it feels like something that's still going to be pretty easy to carry onto a variety of domestic and international airlines. As far as the silhouette for this one, it did feel like it starts to get a little bulky and stick out quite a bit when I completely packed it out. So definitely not something that I would be able to use as a personal item, and the type of bag that I'd be a little bit more concerned with, the airline asking me to weigh it just because of the visual appearance that it has. But, I still feel comfortable that this would fit into a lot of overhead storage compartments, as I was saying. And, it's just something that you want to keep in mind if you're going somewhere where you're going to be jumping on public transit, walking around any crowded areas, smaller stores. You just want to kind of keep an eye out on the silhouette to make sure you don't accidentally knock something over or bump into somebody. Continuing with the harness system, so far the bag has been really comfortable to wear. I like how the straps have been implemented here. They have a nice amount of padding, feels really comfortable and broken in right out of the box. On the inside, you have a breathable mesh to help prevent moisture from building up. And then the straps have a good width to help prevent the bag from digging into your shoulders when it's a little bit more packed out. You don't have any load lifters on this bag, which I personally don't mind, but I know some people like to have them on bags of this size. Then you have a couple of loops on the shoulder straps to allow you to maybe hang your sunglasses, clip on an additional accessory. You also have an adjustable sternum strap, give you a little bit more support. And you also have the ability to hide the straps away. So you have these nice buckles here, quick release when you want to place the straps here to just give it a little bit of a cleaner look if you're gonna be, storing this in an overhead storage compartment or potentially checking it. If you have one of the larger bags, it's nice that you have that ability to hide that away. And then you also have an integrated waist belt, which feels well implemented. It definitely felt like it was gonna lift some of that weight off of my shoulders. This is well integrated into the back, and then you have a nice bit of padding. So I really like when you have a waist belt that it actually feels like it's gonna add a lot of value. I was sad that you can't fully remove this. It's actually built into the bag, but you can tuck it away if you don't wanna use it. So that's never my favorite implementation, but with a bag of this size, I can see why it feels like most people would maybe want to use the waist belt. And then on the back paneling, this has also felt really comfortable. Same type of padding that we saw on the straps, well distributed all throughout. Nice mesh here to provide you with some breathability. And then there is some elevation here in the middle to create this air channel to provide you with some airflow while you're walking around throughout the day. And then another cool feature on the back panel is that you have a luggage pass-through that's going to allow you to rest this on a suitcase while traveling to save some weight on your back. Jumping into the organizational options, you have some really great quick access pockets near the top. With this latest edition of the Allpa pack, you now have an additional zippered quick access pocket, which I always think is such a useful thing to have, particularly when traveling for the items that you're grabbing regularly while you're on the go. So here I currently have a headlamp, then I have my AirPods, I have a pair of sunglasses, I have a cable to charge my tablet and my phone. And then even with all those items in there, it felt like I still had a little bit of leftover space. So this is definitely the type of spot where I would put some of the items that are in my pockets while going through TSA. So a simple pocket, but really love how much volume it offers. And then behind that, you have a larger compartment that is still pretty quick access. I love that it's from the top, so when I'm placing the bag down next to me, I can access both of these. And I put a ton of things in here just because I was surprised how much volume this had. I kept adding items and it still felt like there's some space in the compartment, which is great to see. So here at the top, I have my GoPro, I have a Matador shower towel, I have a packable tote bag from Peak Design, and then I actually put my packable rain jacket in here because it felt like a comfortable fit. But you can see how this would also easily be able to handle some toiletries or a jacket, some gloves. And then I have a Tom Bin Ghost Whale pouch. And then I have the USB-C hub with cables that I typically use for charging my tablet, my laptop, and everything while I'm on the go. And so really love just this simple area here so that I can rest a bunch of stuff. But on the back, you have a zippered mesh compartment that's gonna be great for the smaller items that you wanna reach. So at the moment I have my Apple Magic Mouse, a retractable USB-C cable, and then I also have a nail clipper set. And then one last thing to call out in this pocket is that you have a lanyard with a clip that's gonna be a good spot to attach your keys. I do wish that this lanyard was maybe a little bit longer, but still glad to have this included. On the side of the bag, you have a large vertical zipper that will provide access to the dedicated laptop and tablet area. And so really nice system here. You have a loop at the top where you could thread this through to give yourself a little bit of theft deterrence. And then I like how large this zipper is to allow you to access your device easily. The orientation here makes a lot of sense with the luggage pass-through and the handle so that you can reach down and grab your device when needed. And you have a nice bit of padding in this compartment as well as a soft lining to help prevent against scratching. And it's interesting, you have a sleeve here that seems to be designed for a tablet. And so this is properly suspended. It's got a good amount of padding. You do have the soft lining in here as well. This was able to handle my iPad mini comfortably. You can see how this would probably fit a 10 or 11 inch tablet easily as well. And so really like the implementation on the tablet sleeve and the fact that there's actually a dedicated tablet sleeve. And then the laptop sleeve itself also offers a good amount of space. This should be able to handle a 15 or 16 inch laptop comfortably. Currently I have a 14 inch MacBook Pro. You can see there's plenty of leftover space. One thing about this compartment is that it's not really suspended off the bottom of the ground, which would have been nice to see. I kept trying to fit my laptop into this tablet sleeve just to give it that extra bit of protection. But unfortunately, that is not the case. You have maybe a little bit of padding here, so that's good, but it just doesn't feel as protective as a false bottom typically does. So really would have liked to have seen that, but very easy to get my device in and out of the bag. And now with the compartment empty, you can get a better look at the inside of both the tablet and the laptop sleeves. And so really nice amount of capacity, even if you happen to have a thicker device. One thing to note is that as this main compartment starts to get fuller, you will start to feel a little bit more pressure on your devices, particularly if you try to carry both of them. So that's something that you want to keep in mind. But with the amount of padding that's offered here, it does feel like my devices are going to be pretty well protected while I'm on the go. And then moving into the main compartment, this has a suitcase style opening. The zipper for this main area is lockable, and then this opens up and you have two dedicated sections to organize all of your stuff. And this is a really cool layout. I think this is part of the reason why this bag has become so popular for one bag travelers. I really liked using this. So you have one larger section. They both have zippered mesh dividers to kind of keep everything in place. You can see what's on the inside depending on the colors of the stuff you're using. Everything is kind of dark that I have here, but still you have the dedicated section here. And this is perfectly sized for my typical packing cube setup. Everything that I would normally carry fit on this side, as far as having my larger Peak Design compressible packing cube. I have the smaller compressible packing cube, and then I also have my Air Dopp kit, and all of that fit in there very easily. It didn't feel like the bag was overly stuffed or anything like that. I also like that there's no compression strap, so it's a very simple layout which kind of adapts to whatever I want to pack in the bag, whether you're using packing cubes or not. So really like the layout here. And on the other side, here at the top, you have a simple zippered mesh compartment. You do have a little bit of volume here. I never pack anything too bulky in these types of pockets to make it easy to close the bag, but still gonna be great for something like a notebook, an extra set of cash, wallet. I have my Peak Design mobile tripod in here, great for cable, maybe some medicines or anything like that. And then you have another zippered segment here. And what's really cool about this is that it actually goes all the way towards the top of the bag. So this essentially gives you two large main compartments to pack with, which I think is very cool. And so with the amount of space that's offered here, I was able to fit an extra pair of shoes in a packing cube to just keep everything from getting dirty. I also have a packable backpack. At the moment, this is the Air Go Pack from a couple of years ago, which I still have. I have the new version of this, which I've done a video on. I love the Tortuga Day Pack Pro. So any of those packable bags would fit into this segment as well. And with a 35-liter bag, I will always have something small like this to use for when I'm walking around throughout the day. And I was also able to fit an additional larger compressible packing cube with some extra clothes for a longer trip. And so lots of flexibility here with the amount of space that's provided, which is great to see. On the inside, there's no compression straps or anything like that. You can see the outer compartments and how when you fill them up, they will start to take up some space here. So this section here is the main packable area that you have, but that's why it worked well with something taller like the packable backpack that I had. So, very nice to use regardless of your packing style. I think that this adapts well. The space that it offers at 35 liters really impressed me. This volume here in particular is just something that makes this a very great travel solution. So, overall, I can see why this has become such a popular one bag travel option. I really like the updates that Cotopaxi has made with the water bottle pocket, these additional quick access pocket on the front. And so, just very functional bag, unique style. And if you're looking for something comfortable that's gonna be able to hold a ton of stuff, this is gonna be an excellent option to take a look at. And so to wrap up, it's been a pretty great experience testing out the 35-liter Allpa pack. You can currently purchase this on sites like Huckberry for about $225, so definitely a bit of an investment. It's in a more premium category, but to me this feels like a pretty reasonable price considering the features and the build quality that it has to offer, and it's also going to compare well against some of the other similar bags in this price range. And so as I was testing this out, the first bag this made me think of is the Air Travel Pack 3, which also comes in at about 35 liters. That's been one of my favorite one bag travel options for many years now. It's got a clamshell style opening, really nice organization all throughout for your essentials, for your tech, well padded laptop compartment, really comfortable harness system. You do have the ability to add and remove a waist belt. It's got a water bottle pocket. The layout on that is going to be a little bit different since it has the clamshell style opening versus the suitcase style. So a little bit of a different organizational layout. The aesthetic on that one is also going to be a little bit more modern and sleek. So if that's the type of thing that you're looking for and you just want a reliable and comfortable travel pack, that's going to be a fantastic option to take a look at. Another bag this made me think of is the Tortuga 40-liter Travel Backpack Lite. I really enjoyed the simplicity of that bag. It just has a couple of quick access pockets, really comfortable harness system, dedicated and suspended laptop compartment. Like this one, it has kind of a suitcase style opening but with a simpler layout. So it's got one large main compartment, but that makes it very easy to organize. It can hold an impressive amount of stuff. It also has a removable waist belt that's very comfortable. Tortuga has some of the most comfortable harnesses on the market, in my opinion. And so if you're looking for something like this that's gonna have a little bit of a simpler layout, but still provide the things that you'll need out of a great one bag travel option, that's gonna be an excellent option to take a look at. The next bag this made me think of is the Peak Design Travel Backpack, which is another really popular option with an impressive feature set. That one has the ability to expand and compress. The standard size is about 35 liters, I believe, so pretty close to this. It has a clamshell style opening, so the layout is going to be a little bit different, but it has great access into the main compartment. You can open it up from the sides to grab what you need. It also pairs nicely with Peak Design's ecosystem of accessories. If you're carrying camera gear, that's going to be a plus for that one. It has an integrated waist belt that you can hide away, quick access pocket on the front, secondary admin organizational area, and then you can collapse the back of that compartment to make it one large bag. So a lot of flexibility in how everything works on that bag, good external water bottle pockets. And so, you know, just a very versatile, solid bag. And if you're carrying camera gear, if you're in the Peak Design ecosystem, or you just want something that's going to give you a lot of flexibility, then that's going to be a great option to consider. And then the last option that I'll mention here is the updated edition of the Packed Travel Backpack. That one has a pretty interesting layout. It opens down the middle, kind of suitcase style like this one, but the layout is different in the fact that the laptop compartment is actually in the middle of the bag versus on the back. So that affects the way that the space is distributed. Packed believes that that helps provide additional protection to the laptop since it's in the middle and cushioned by all of your stuff, and so it can take a little bit of getting used to, but it's actually worked out pretty well for me on some of the trips that I've done once I figured out how to load out each section of the bag. Besides that, it has some really great quick access pockets on the exterior. They have their own dedicated volume, very easy to use, comfortable harness system. It also has the ability to expand to give you some extra capacity. It also pairs nicely with some of the packable bags that Pack sells. And so it's a really great durable bag. I really love the more subdued aesthetic that it has. It's offered in a couple of different sizes. So if you're looking for something with a unique layout that's going to work well in a lot of different environments, that's going to be an excellent option to take a look at. With that being said, the 35-liter Allpa pack holds up very well against all those options, and I can definitely see why this has become such a popular travel backpack over the past couple of years. And if you're looking for something that's going to offer a nice amount of space, it's going to be durable, comfortable, and give you a really nice layout for organizing all of your stuff, this is going to be a great option to consider. And I'm definitely curious to hear what you all think of the Allpa pack and how it compares to some of the other popular travel backpacks that are currently on the market. And if there's any similar options that you think that I should check out, as always, please let me know in the comments. And I want to thank Huckberry for sending the bag for me to test out. If you're interested in the Allpa pack or some of the other alternatives that I mentioned, they are typically carried on Huckberry's site if you want to check them out. And I want to thank you all for watching and supporting the channel. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any upcoming videos. And we'll see you in the next one.